At what point am I allowed to get carried away with our league position this season? Asking for a friend. Win our first game today. We go top. Yes, folks, how is it going? And a warm welcome back. Today we have a massive game against Liverpool in the league, and after that, the small matter of the Carabao Cup final against Tottenham Hotspur. It's episode number 62. If you're excited for things, go down below, show that you're still watching and enjoying the series, leave a like, feed the algorithm, ultras out there. Yes, I am referring to you guys as the algorithm ultras. We're bringing it back, people. Now, of course, last episode, we beat Manchester United over 2 legs, albeit with the help of extra time, and that has set up a final today, as I mentioned, against Tottenham. Sadly, Leeds United of the Championship couldn't keep their insane season going where they're playing in every competition and their schedule is mad. And yeah, they lost to Tottenham over 2 legs. Sorry, Leeds fans. Good news. You've made it through to the Europa League knockout stages. You beat Malmo in the first leg too. Imagine if they get Champions League football as a championship team. That would actually be mad. Now, in terms of our form since we last here, it is all smiles and it is all good. Albeit this run of games has been a run of easier ones. We don't want to get carried away. I feel like I need to caveat the fact that whilst we are second in the league right now, Tottenham and Manchester United have games in hand on us, which if they win, they'll go above us. And on top of that, after today, we have 10 games left of the season. Only one of those games is against a team outside the top 13. Yeah, our end to the season isn't easy. We still have Arsenal to play, Chelsea to play, Aston Villa to play, Man City to play. I'm not getting carried away just yet. But maybe I should just a little bit, because our run of form lately has been immense. We've been scoring a load and keeping a really good defensive shape. A 3-0 win against Burnley was superb. Great to see Bernard Brennan getting on the score sheet. 5 goals in the Premier League for this guy. He is continuing to improve quite a lot. My staff do think he's got some really good potential still, so I'm keen to continue to play him. And of course, he repaid our faith with a goal there. 3-0 was nice. And while Lancashire, he played really well, didn't he, in that last game, grabbing 2. He got injured in the very next game. 3-2 win against Coventry was great. We came back from behind on 2 occasions to steal all the points. Carl Flood, man of the match. But as I mentioned, Lancashire, injured again, can play 45 minutes of the first game today. Another twisted ankle. He's now twisted his ankle 3 times in 3 months. That is very concerning. We managed to dispatch of Championship Bournemouth in the FA Cup 4th round. Yeah, very good result here. 5-0. Variety of goal scorers. Always great to see. We did, however, end the month with a draw against Crystal Palace, who, with respect to them, are not all that good. Their league position is 15th. Their run of form had been awful going into that game against them. The fact that we couldn't do more was annoying. They are kind of our bogey team. We never seem to beat Crystal Palace. But if there was any indication that draw was going to signal a dip in form going into the month of February, it's not happened. 3-0 against Wolves was great. You might remember they flew really high up in the league last year. This season they have struggled a little bit more. After that, a really good win against Tottenham. 3-0 here. It could have and maybe should have been more, but great to get a mental edge over our opposition today in the cup final. Tottenham are a really good team. They could go up to second if they win games in hand. Sheldon scored a goal for us. He then, missed a penalty shortly after this second goal, which really opened things up. And had we gone in at the break by more than 2 goals, I would have felt comfortable. When we missed a penalty at the start of the second half, I panicked, but I need not panic. We steadied the ship, and Dorrington, against the club whose academy he came through, grabbed a 3rd goal for us. Great to see Alfie getting on the score sheet. He's not had the perfect first season by any means, the 26-year-old, but he's continuing to improve. He's been a very reliable player for us, and whilst 6 goals in 22 is pretty good for a centre-back, I was kind of maybe slightly hoping for more. Maybe I have unrealistic expectations. Anyway, now most recent game, a 4-1 win away against Fulham was superb. Marcus Sheldon has been a man in some really, really good form. 15 goals, 11 assists so far this season. Another man who's really had a rich reign of form is Rashid Mohammed. As I mentioned, Lancashire got injured. We needed someone to step up. And when you look at Rashid Mohammed's form, safe to say he has been a man who has stepped up. He now has 9 goals and 6 assists in 24 games. 7.31 average rating, and to be honest, even when Lancashire comes back from injury, he's probably only going to find himself on the bench. Now, because of our cup final coming up at the weekend, our game against Liverpool has been moved forward, so this is a tricky game for us. Liverpool down in 8th place have had an awful season by all accounts. Very unlikely they're going to secure Champions League football. Definitely beatable on their day as well. You look at their form this year, they've slipped up a hell of a lot. We're in great form. I feel like maybe we even go into this game as favourites. I would like to get really, really carried away today and say we could win the league, and whilst, yeah, we could go top of the table, I am really saying that in jest. We have not found ourselves at the top of the table since the first game week of the season, and whilst, to be honest, we've been outside the Champions League positions for a little while, I'd love to try and make that the realistic aim this year. Saying all of that, it is so close at the top of the table. We are in second on 55 points. Obviously, we could go ahead of Arsenal by 1 point, albeit with a game more played. Man City as low as 6th are still very much within touching distance at the top of the table. Man City are behind Aston Villa, mind you. Aston Villa have been our friends, I feel like, over the last few years. We avoided relegation with them, had a finish just outside Europe with them. Now we're both going for the Champions League spots. Anyway, for the here and now, we're just going to focus on the task at hand, which is trying to get points in every game we can. Liverpool, perhaps there for the taking. I'd say that. I'm still scared of them. Their key player is Jamal Musiala. He is technically English, of course. Don't think he's going to be signing for us in the duration of this save game, which is a bit of a shame because he's absolutely mental. Anyway, in terms of team news, like I mentioned, Lancashire coming back from a twisted ankle, although Rashid Mohammed would probably be starting ahead of him anyway. In terms of the rest of the team, we are at full strength, match fitness, pretty solid across the board. The average ratings for the last 5 games are good too. Our team is in form. Let's get a win. I feel like at the start of the season, we ummed and ahed about, is it worth going for the free striker system against the big teams? Now I'm approaching this like we are one of the big teams. That is the difference this year. We've taken that step forward. I'm a little bit concerned about Liverpool playing this narrow system, mind you. They are playing a 4-2-2-2. You don't see this much in Football Manager. When you do see it, I get nervous. I'm actually going to make some changes that you've seen me make in a few big games this year, even last episode against Manchester United. We're going to switch our attacking width to fairly wide. I'm going to ask the players to focus it in those wider areas and look to pass into space. There is going to be a lot of space, I think, in that wide areas for our wing-backs to try and battle in. I've noticed they're playing Gueye at left-back. I don't feel like Gueye is the best left-back in the world. I say that. He's way better than all my players, but I don't fear him going forward. Okay, 20 minutes into this game, not exactly a classic. I was hoping that we could keep our momentum going with a cup final at the weekend. If you're wondering, was there any consideration to rotate the team midweek ahead of that game? Absolutely not. Every league game is basically a cup final for us at the moment. And, well, we could have a chance here. Rashid Mohammed in a wide area. Inside to Nicky Meredith. He came through the Everton Academy. He was born to score against Liverpool. And he skied it from a yard out. Liverpool so far in this game having plenty of the ball, but you can just see from the average positions, they are playing a really narrow, compact shape, but they can't get the ball forward, which is great to be able to say. We've shut them down largely in this game. And while with 2 minutes left of the half, we've got a chance on the far side. Ajaria to Hatswell. Back to Ajaria, the right back who's having a breakthrough season, has to be said, floated that cross in. Not exactly the most inspiring cross into the box. Now Liverpool going to look to try and make something happen. You can see how both their defensive midfielders really marked out the game by our free strikers. They're forced to go long. Darwin Núñez is under it. Nods it down to Taylor. Bit of space now maybe on the overlap. Gueye coming, well, wide. I said he wasn't good going forward. He could be good here, imagine. We've cleared it. Now could we counter? Use those wider areas. Ajaria and Rashid Mohammed on the right-hand side have acres of space. Wallace can put in balls of quality. He does the simple ball right, gives it to Sheldon. Battles through a tackle, and now Liverpool are bringing it forward, and I have to question, what has Dorrington done there? Why did he start running forward? He's left space now for them to attack. Musiala scores. And whilst it wasn't a direct result of Dorrington's positioning there, I'm still going to question it massively. There is a VAR check ongoing. Is this goal going to count? It is. Dorrington, I mean, look at his positioning here. He runs back, but then he vacates this space. We are slow getting back into position with Flood to Bosley, Musiala. Anson dives not very well. But I'm just going to blame that on the 3D rendering of the match engine. There's never been a good save by a goalkeeper in the 3D match engine, or a good attempt at a save. It just never makes goalkeepers look good, does it? Anyway, it's 1-0 at the break. I feel very hard done by. You've been terrible so far. Start it out. Apparently, Ajari is apprehensive. I've got faith in you. Right, he's motivated. The attackers are fired up. Nicky Meredith, he missed that chance. He's on a 6.3 rating and a booking. I'm going to make a change here, I think. I'm going to move Sheldon down the middle. Rashid Mohammed's going to go to left forward. Lancashire's going to play as our right-sided forward. Of course, when Sheldon's not on the left, we do go back to the double pressing forward system. But yeah, Sheldon through the middle I think is necessary. Meredith's miss combined with the yellow card. It just feels like a cocktail for disaster. Right, Tammy, can you make something happen here? Ajaria, Hatswell, back to Hatswell. We've seen this before, but can we have a different result this time around? Henderson, Flood, space on the left side. Wallace, not being shown any respect, dropping wide, cuts inside. His shot hits the post. It's a great run. Lancashire to Ajaria. Hatswell pulls the trigger. That one is straight at the keeper. We're definitely having some joy in those wider areas. It has to be said. The wing-backs definitely find space when we're attacking. Liverpool are defending really, really narrow. They don't really have the bodies, to be honest, with 2 attacking mids and 2 strikers to cover all our players going forward, especially when we stretch them wide. I feel like we've just got to keep doing what we're doing, and eventually we're going to be rewarded. Wallace this time, blitzing it down the left-hand side. There's options in the middle for the left-back to look for. Gives it back to Flood. Holds up the play nicely. Should go back to Arian B. Does go back to him. Beautiful ball from one side to the other. Ajaria, Henderson. The build-up plays nice, but we need end product. Ajaria, Sheldon, and he's saved by the goalkeeper. I mean, it's one great save. It's still the early stages of this second half, but we look much better already. The ball's whipped in after the short corner routine. Sadly amounts to nothing. I'm going to make some changes in this game. Carl Flood is in danger of losing his discipline. We can't afford to lose that right now. Gavin Gallagher's going to come in at deep line playmaker. Wallace not having the best of games today. Adam May, a man who's been in some really good form lately, is going to come in and hopefully have an impact for us in the wider areas. Up top, Sheldon has struggled again. I'm going to take him off. Might be controversial. Mohamed is the informed striker. He's playing better this game. Bernard Brennan, we're going to bring in for his physicality to hopefully win some balls in the air. Just over 20 minutes remaining here. There's not been a load of chances in this half, but when they've been happening, it's been for us. Gallagher's free kick denied by the keeper again. If nothing else, we're showing why we're towards the top of the table. We are taking this game to Liverpool. We're creating a ton. Just failing to find the breakthrough right now. Liverpool now maybe with a chance of their own. They're playing it around the back. The ball's played forward to McAllister. We're looking for an offside that's not going to be given. And Sekou Mara scores. He makes it 2-0. There's going to be another VAR check. I think he's behind the man who passes the ball. I think this goal's going to count. It is going to count. And that is just an absolute gut punch. A free kick that looks like we should be dealing with it. I think that's Henderson there, drifts forward. The ball's played in. And Sekou Mara, who in this universe is an absolute demon, grabs a goal. I don't know how many goals this man has scored against me, and I've never seen him be this good in any Football Manager save ever. He always scores against me, and it's really upsetting. Hate to say it, I think with that goal there, this game is potentially done. We've created enough to get 2 goals in this game. That is the sad reality. The finishing's been lacking. If we do want to come back, we need to book up our ideas, and we need to do it now. Ajaria whips in. Rashid Mohammed's under it, and that looping header really epitomizes today. Bizarrely, I feel like this has been a pretty blooming good performance for us, but sadly, it's just not resulted in anything in terms of chances, in terms of goals. I mean, at this point, we might as well go for one late roll of the dice. This has been a common change I've done in games where we're kind of chasing things this year. Wing-backs forward to play as wingers. Pressing forwards move to play pressing forward on attack. And we just try and get the ball forward quickly. We need a miracle, and we need it now. We've thrown all our players forward. It's a gung-ho last-gasp attempt, and I'm going to say it, it's not going to amount to anything. It finishes here 2-0 to Liverpool. Maybe just a little bit of a reality check. I came into today's episode getting carried away. Maybe a reminder there's still progress to be made. In the other game, Tottenham failed to win, so that's actually kind of a useful result for us because it means that Tottenham, who had a chance to go above us, don't go above us. Shout out to Wolves, down in 9th. Good win for them. Now, of course, the second game today is our first route into European football. The Carabao Cup final would guarantee us some European football last year, and whilst that does look pretty reassuring in the league that we will be doing it, it isn't done yet. As I mentioned, in our last 10 games, we have to play a lot of the big teams still. So this next game matters. It's in 3 days. It's at Wembley. Don't go anywhere. We're taking on Roberto De Zerbi in Tottenham. We beat them 3-0 in the league. Watch me get battered now in a cup final. Okay, folks, it is time. Our first cup final as Wanderers manager. Last Park to Prem that I did in FM24 with Rugby Town, we became bottlers in cup finals. I don't want that to be the legacy I leave here. The delay to FM25's given me a second chance. I want to take it. We definitely go into this game as second favourites for a sold-out game at Wembley, and the task is going to be made harder by the fact that Dorrington is out suspended. As much as I joke about this guy not being the goal-scoring centre-back I thought he might be, him being suspended for this game is a massive miss. It means that Henderson is going to play in the centre of our defence due to the fact he's got decent ability with both feet. And Rolk, is going to come in and play at right centre-back, which, to be fair, when we've called upon him this year, Rolk has actually played better than last year. So maybe a chance for us to show him what he's all about. Look at his jumping reach. Look at his heading ability. He is a decent centre-back in his own right. He loves important matches. I need him to be big today. In terms of the rest of the team, Hatwell, the 19-year-old, is going to need to put in a mature performance in the position that he's in the middle of the team. He is at the heart of everything we do. By the way, look at his development this year. He is looking so good. And elsewhere, Sheldon playing in his first ever cup final for us, allegedly hates important matches. I just hope he scores in this one. Okay, folks. I mean, we're still in the FA Cup technically. You might have spotted in the next FA Cup round, we actually play Tottenham in a matter of days. So, yeah, this is the second time I'm playing them in the month. I'm playing them another time this month as well. I decided to spare you from a Tottenham Hotspur overdose in episode, so we won't be doing that game. And really, I shouldn't be thinking about this game. I need to think about this one here. They're going to be playing the 4-2-3-1 that we've seen them play against us before. In terms of their team, Aldo Bautista here is absolutely mad out on the left-hand side. His pace is terrifying. Good luck, Ajaria. Sarr for them in this universe is an absolute god. Last year, he was one of the top goal scorers in the Premier League. He's slowed down a little bit, but he's still quite good. And I did notice they are starting Richard Narty in this game as well. This guy is the top goal scorer in the Carabao Cup. He loves important matches. Very good English striker, and another really pacey player. Anyway, early corner here to set the mood for the game. Sarr was at the near post. We've dealt with it and been given a free kick. That is not exactly the nice, calm start to the game I was hoping for. Although now we've got a corner of our own. Wallace to the back post. Henderson is there. Brian Henderson with only his second goal for the club. And it's a tale of two corners inside the first 5 minutes. We did score a corner against Tottenham when I took them on in the league earlier on in the month. That was a near post corner. On this occasion, we're back to the old faithful back post to get a lovely little opener. Is this just going to be the game of corners? Tottenham have now got one on the near side. Bautista, the Mexican player, gives it to Colwell, who turns in the box and scores. And I can't even really be bitter because we've already scored one against them today. Not actually sure this was the best cross into the box, but Colwell made the most of the situation with a crazy first touch, found himself with space in the box and tucks into the bottom corner. Pedro Porro to Angelo. Now with Som at the edge of the box. This is scary, isn't it? They are playing full strength. We are playing full strength. It's been goals early on. I don't want to concede another. We have conceded another. It's 2-1 and it's not a quiet cup final. Came into this episode boasting about our really good defensive record. It has well and truly gone out the window against strong opposition here in both our games. 2 goals conceded in this one already. There's still 70 minutes left to be played. 10 minutes left of this first half. There's not been many chances in open play. To be honest, we've not really created enough in this game either. Struggling to find a way through, and we're rapidly approaching the end of this first half. 3 minutes of out time to be played. There might be one last little bit of action with 30 seconds left. Anson's going to launch it. Rashid Mohammed was under it but couldn't get there. Sarr, who is their star man running the show in the midfield, plays it wide. That is a crazy ball. First time cross. Narty's under it. Henderson, our goal scorer, gets it away, but only as far as Pedro Porro, whose shot flashes across the face of goal for the final kick of the half. It's 2-1. We have not been good enough here. In terms of how that half's gone, they have dominated the midfield, it's safe to say. We've not been able to get the ball further enough forward to really make an impact in this game. I'm really thinking about changing the shape, you know. This might be stupid, but let me cook. I'm going to move to a back 4. I think. I need to do something different. We've been second best in everything in this game. I'm going to play Wallace on the left-hand side as a wide attacking midfielder. And I'm going to ask him to stay wider and cut inside of the ball. That's the instructions I normally run on the wing-back anyway. Flood is going to switch now to a Regista to roam more. And I'm going to move one of our strikers. I think it's going to have to be Rashid Mohammed to play out on the right-hand side as an inside forward on attack. I feel like I've got to just do something different here. We've not done enough. They've not created a great deal. I feel like it's time to abandon the three at the back and just try something new. I'm going to ask the team to play wider and focus the play in those wider areas where possible. I don't know why I'm doing this. It's just a cup final. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I think I've got to spice up my life. Sarr and Som have just dominated things at defensive mid. We've not been able to get the ball to our attackers in this game. I'm going to try and bypass them by playing wider and trying just something radically different in this half in the hopes maybe it can work. I say that. We're 15 minutes into the half. It's clearly not working. I mean, Tottenham haven't had a shot, but neither have we. Meredith not having the best of games today. I'm going to make a change. Willie Lancashire, on you come. Sheldon, I'm going to switch to pressing forward on attack, and then Sheldon and Lancashire are going to swap. In the midfield, I think I've got to change things up here. Hatswell off, Gavin Gallagher on for the fresh legs and a bit of experience. And you know what? I'm going to take off Rashid Mohammed and bring in Niall Townsend. I'm bringing on one of our own from the academy, hoping he can make a big splash. He's had a really good season when we've called upon him. To the point where I trust him in a game like this. We need a goal. We need something. Right now, it is not happening. It's really not happening. There's nothing happening. Joe McHugh, on you come. Flood is struggling with his legs. Of course, we played midweek, so our players are tired. I'm bringing in McHugh, hoping he can inject some creativity into the team. I mean, this now, what is this? I'm now playing a wide 4-1-2-1-2. I've not played this ever in this save game. I really like the idea the players are getting handed a sheet of paper by the players coming on off the bench, and they're like, what's he doing? Like, I've got to try something, folks. I mean, the good news is with the subs I've made, I can go back to a more conventional shape if we can get a goal, but it's a big if. Ajaria, Lancashire, against his former club, is denied by the goalkeeper. I mean, in terms of time left, there is no time left. I'm already so attacking in this game, just trying to force a highlight, any highlight, something. Sheldon's tired, get on Brennan. Look for overlaps, hit early crosses, get the ball into the middle. How much added time is there going to be? 4 minutes. I need a miracle. I'm holding out for a miracle, and it's just not going to come. I'm so sad. It finishes 2-1 Tottenham. We huffed, we puffed, and we couldn't blow that house down. To be honest, we never looked like scoring more than the goal we scored. I don't even want to watch the trophy lift. I'm running back down the tunnel to the dressing room to shout at the players. I mean, we went into this game as underdogs. It's weird, right? On the one hand, it's like, did I overthink things by changing things? But to be honest, we didn't create anything in the first half after we scored early on from a corner. We needed to create something, and we never looked like scoring, did we? I should point out Tottenham in this universe are very good. Media prediction of 4th, Champions League football on the regular. In terms of landmarks, I mean, look, they historically win the Carabao Cup team. They are a Carabao Cup club. I'm sure our day will come. I hope. You know what? We'll just beat them in the FA Cup and that'll cheer me up, I guess. I mean, the weird thing is, when they scored their second goal, I don't think they had a highlight in the rest of the game, did they? Apparently, we were the biggest overachievers, for what that's worth. That's really not cheered me up like I think it's meant to have. Now, as already mentioned, our very next game is against Tottenham in the FA Cup away. Not concerned about that one right now. We need to focus on the league. We do have a few really big games coming up that I'm probably not going to do in videos. Aston Villa away, who are currently in 2nd, is one such game. Chelsea in 7th. If I'm being honest, I think the Arsenal and Man City games are the games I just have to come back for next time. I know some of you are sick of seeing Arsenal. They are the big bad of this universe right now, and those games will be pivotal in our season. Also, they just lost to Southampton while we were playing. I didn't even realise that. Shout out to Southampton. I'll tell you what, the battle at the top of this table is absolutely mad. So disappointing, isn't it? You go on a really good run in Football Manager against some easier teams. You think it sets you up nicely to cause some upsets, and then reality sets in, and you just can't beat the teams you come up against. Yeah, it was always going to be tough against Tottenham, wasn't it? Thank you so much for watching today's episode, as always. We will be back tomorrow to end the week, hopefully on a high note, hopefully still competing at the top. I'll see you next time for more. It's me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.